Hey everyone, welcome to the Ask Me Anything session on my kind of career progression that I've had from being in help desk and a technical support role to having been a cloud engineer for almost 2 years now. And then early this year, I started working in DevOps. So it's been a interesting, exciting journey. So yeah, feel free to hop in the chat and I'll be addressing some questions and just a cool session in regards to if you have any questions of getting started into the cloud or entering the kind of tech world. But yeah, I guess I'll go over as people start joining in on what my week has been or how my week has been so far. So for the work stuff, I had been working on Terraform and a lot of Packer stuff and also some maintaining some cloud formation code. So there were a few patches and hot fixes that need to go out. So it's pretty okay and a lot of learning with Packer and Terraform on work. Um, Apart from work, for my personal stuff, uh, my team finally made through the semifinals for our volleyball league, and we'll be facing um, the other team in finals now, which is next Wednesday. So I'm pretty excited for that. Um, and yeah, I think yesterday and today we just had a kind of a training session with my team, and then with my siblings today, um, just to get into that mindset of playing the finals. Um, but yeah, it's been quite relaxing, especially the sports. Um, over the so there's a session that I'm doing um, with Gwen on the Microsoft Reactor sessions, and it's about containerizing the an app and deploying it to Azure App Service. So if you guys might, few of you might have known that we did a session earlier in September, which was we made a crypto app which gets you prices of all the crypto coins, and so now I'm trying to Dockerize that and deploy it to a container in Azure App Service. So yeah, that's been my focus for the side projects that I've been working on. So I did some practice with like the just the Blazor web app, the basic one that you get in the Learn module, and try to Dockerize it, publish it, get a GitHub action in place. But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. Hey, oh, what time it is in England? But yeah, hi. Slowly working my way through the Learn to Cloud guide. Oh yeah, that is like the really it's we didn't thought this through, but it's such a nice tool, and our focus is to like make it even better um, for people who are trying to get into cloud or are already in cloud and are just trying to navigate what they want to do. Because nowadays you have so many other, I would say, branches that you can go into. So there's cloud security, there is cloud engineer, there's DevOps engineer, and then SREs also kind of fall in the same place. For someone who doesn't know, SREs are like site reliability engineers, and all these different roles. If you know cloud, you can secure them. I like that's how I feel about them, and yeah, I think it's a great tool, and if I'll make sure to post a link to that in the chat. But yeah, it's a great tool if you're starting out, and I think we'll make some more improvements. I know that Gwen is working on a ran a random a random project generator, so it will generate random projects that you can build on different cloud providers utilizing different services. So that would be really neat, and I think that's one of the things that I struggle with too personally is I can't come up with project ideas that I want to do. And I don't want to do something like basic, like a to-do app and then try to host it in um, Azure or AWS. I want like specific. I guess you can build it in a way that it utilizes different. So like you could use Azure storage or Cosmos DB for storing those events in your app, and then have other services integrated too. Like you could add authentication to your to-do app. But yeah, that's the point. Is we want to so like once you go to learn to cloud dot guide slash random or however we plan it out, the architecture itself. If you go to that URL, it'll give you a random project that you can build, and it will also list all the services that will be needed in a specific cloud service provider. But yeah, it's a great tool, and yeah, good luck on your cloud journey. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. And yeah, so just going to tweet that doing a live stream so that people can join and ask questions if they have in regards to their careers in cloud or any other questions just in general in regards to cloud. Um, yeah. Oh, earlier today I did the how they started their tech career, um, and yeah, it went great. I don't know if I should reveal. Some of you may already know who the guest is, but I'll probably reveal it later. Um, and we have a surprise guest here. So Gwen is here, and uh, just gonna add her to the stream here real quick. Hey, Gwen.
What's up, man? Give me a second. I have to plug my headphones in.
Sure, sure. But yeah, I was just telling them about my week, kind of what I have been up to for this week.
Oof, there we go.
Yep. And yeah, I was just going through stuff that I did at work this week, which was Foundry, Terraform, and Packer related, and then some patching in regards to CloudFormation. Other than that, I've been working on the Dockerizing a Blazor web app, just trying to get understand like how we can implement Docker, and then I'll try it on the crypto app that we did for the session that we have next Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, yes. Next week, this Wednesday.
I like the light you got behind you.
Thank you. Yeah. Think so. You know how those Amazon warehouse deals come in? They're called.
No. What is this?
They're called Govi light
Oh,
strips.
I have one for the back of my monitor. For like
Yeah.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I have a really weird pipe
Mm.
in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like the way it looked on camera. So what I did is got a strip and then just attached to it. And now it looks like a light bar instead. It's pretty cool. But yeah.
Oh, I actually thought it was a light bar, but that's clever, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I was telling them also that we won the semifinals for the volleyball, and we'll be playing our finals on Wednesday.
Nice. How do you feel?
I'm pretty pumped. I did get a session in yesterday, so I just went for like practicing and stuff. And I went again today evening with my siblings, so pretty pretty good.
I've been
But it's
playing
getting
a lot of soccer lately.
nice.
Got a game today, like just a pickup game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another one tomorrow for the league.
Okay.
Might be a bad idea though, because I'm like so tired right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
Back to back matches might not be the best. The best. Also, my siblings were here today, so they came yesterday,
Oh
and we
yeah.
just
Yep.
and we went out, hung out, that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I'm just like I feel like I'm not just gonna wake up early tomorrow, so we'll see.
Oh, it's when is the game? It's in the evening, right? Though.
I think it's at 4:30, 4:40.
Okay, that's a good time. So I don't know what happened with our league. They scheduled our semifinals at a 7:10 p.m. It was literally
Interesting.
dark outside, and it was also raining constantly for 2 days.
You play outside, right?
Yeah, so I was playing beach volleyball in rain and in dark.
Are
Which
the lights? Do they have lights outside?
yeah, they did, but the rain and wind just made it so hard. Like the ball got wet, and like
So it
after
slips.
it slips and it's heavy now. So like when you hit it
Ooh.
really hard, your hands hurt. But yeah, it was bad weather, and they said like because it's semifinal, you need to show up. But yeah,
Yeah, sports are great. I'm wondering what I'm gonna do what do you do in the winter, like when the snow's really bad outside?
so I play court volleyball and then turf soccer. So we have let me pull it up. We have a huge dome thing here
Oh,
in
sweet.
Houston. And you can book it. So I think the league books it for you for the entire season to play soccer in winters.
I gotta find something like that because I'm already telling, like, if I don't have something to get me out of here in the winter, it's gonna be a bad time. Someone asked what headphones I use. These are Audio Technica M50X. I replaced this headband and then these because I've had these for 6 years, and I'm not a fan of like just buying stuff. Like, if I can fix things or like make them better, I will before actually buying things. So the ear cuffs were like old and used. I just bought a replacement on Amazon, and
Nice.
six years and they still work great.
Yeah, one thing I admire about like I admire a lot of things about Gwen, but one thing that I admire the most is like she's really smart with her money.
I try to be.
Yeah, it's hard, right, when you're in tech.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I just keep in mind like I used to not be able to afford anything, so
That's
like
true.
that feeling is very very vivid in my brain. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
now that I can, I don't find that enough of a reason to just be just because I can buy something, I should go and buy it kind of thing. If
Yeah.
I absolutely I have this list. So I have this list where whenever I want to buy something, I put it on this list and I wait a month. In a month, I come
Okay.
back to it, and if I still want it, I'll allow myself to buy it. But usually, I feel like for me, most purchases seem to be like impulsive, so it kind of gives me like a pause to like just
I see what you mean.
just
Yeah, no, that's a really good strategy. So like it's not, yeah, you won't regret if it's an impulse buy. Gotta try
yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah, because then you end up with some like weird stuff. Like, why did I buy this?
for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Doing my CCNA at the moment and have read and gone through one of the CCNA books. One left to go. Well, good luck with your CCNA. Um,
Do you
yeah,
have
it's
any networking certifications?
me.
Yeah,
No, just cloud.
I was curious the difference between the CCNA and then something like the Network Plus.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
So CCNA is Cisco, right? So is it maybe
yeah. It's
like
all Cisco.
Network Plus is like agnostic to company or whatever? Sort of maybe like a Cloud Plus versus like a I don't know AWS
It,
cert, Azure cert.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I feel the same way. Um, but yeah, I think that's what the difference is, or at least on paper. I think that's how it
Mhm.
feels.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. But it's a pretty tough exam, right? The CCNA. Is it? I feel like the networking ones are like some of the hardest ones out there.
Yeah, I think just because the like the topic itself is really broad, because you have you have hardware, and then you have subnetting and all that stuff, CIDR addressing.
Hmm.
Um, then you also kind of have, I know CCNA for sure has labs and stuff, where you have to figure out if like something is reachable and stuff like that.
So it's not just questions.
I don't think so, at least. And this is from 4 or 5 years ago, because I remember when I was in my diploma for computer networking, our prof, like, he strongly recommended to get CCNA
Hmm.
in order to get like a network engineer job here in Kingston. Um, Otherwise, he said, yeah, you'll be kind of left out because there are other professionals and it gets competitive. And
Hmm.
CCNA at that time was like the signature cert if you want to get into networking. Um, yeah, at that time, like I took a look at the book, but I was like, oh, this I can't do this along with my like studies.
Hmm.
So I kind of left out.
Perhaps that's the reason why I think out of all the technical certifications out there, like the networking one seems to still be like they have always been well respected and
Hmm.
still are.
Yeah,
And they have weight on your resume versus like the cloud ones started out being very well respected and now it's just more of like a thing for yourself,
yeah,
you know?
I feel that. Um, and that's why I think I hit pause. Like I was kind of falling into that rabbit hole of getting like all of them basically,
Got to get them
and
all.
yeah, and not and it. I think until, I don't know what the last exam was that I sat was, but until the second or the third last, it was like I was really gaining information.
Hmm.
But after that, it was just like passing the cert itself, and not like actually sitting down for a month and going through like labs and stuff to like gain knowledge.
Hmm. So it's just
Because
theory.
yeah, because especially for like AI 900, I think, and there was another DP 900. So I'm not from a data background and neither AI ML stuff.
Hmm.
There was really some good stuff in that exam itself and the prep through Microsoft Learn. I don't remember any of that now. To be honest, I'll remember some, like if I go through the questions again. But yeah, the services that Azure provides, which was kind of concerning, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this just to get the cert, so I'm hitting pause.
Hmm.
And that's why I feel like after we are done with the reactor sessions and the 30 days challenge is kind of nice, and it might sit my 204.
Hmm.
We'll see.
What is that? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Sounds like someone's playing some sort of instrument terribly,
Hmm.
or like a gate is opening or something.
I felt like it was a mouth organ.
It stopped.
Okay.
There. Yeah, you hear some weird stuff here. I'm going through the network fundamentals course on the cloud, but I found there's a fair amount of overlap on the theory side. Overlap where? Fair amount of overlap on the theories.
So you mean like the books that you have, that you were reading, have an overlap with the course that we have recommended in the cloud guide?
Mm,
Maybe.
that's a good thing, I think. Networking is pretty standard,
Yeah.
and it's been around for like since the beginning
Yeah. Yeah.
of it all. So I was gonna say something. It might be useful for us to make some how to contribute, how to make your first open source contribution using the cloud guide
Hmm.
videos around that.
Yeah. I think I was planning, especially like a README, especially to get started. You know
Mhm.
how you need a contribution guideline in GitHub.
Yeah. We have to get through all that stuff.
Yeah. And then I was thinking of an article just like on 1st of October. I think that's when Hacktoberfest makes an announcement.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was timing it according to that because then I think it'll get like I'm just scared to get hundred hundreds of contributions.
You think that'll
Um,
happen?
it could. If you have you ever checked out the I don't know what it's called. There's a tab in the settings for the repo where you can check out the traffic.
No, I haven't looked at it.
So
What? Let me
it's
look
pretty
at it now.
wild.
What is it? Just like people that visit and stuff like that. So you go to the repo and then it's in the settings.
Yep. If you
Settings.
go into insights,
Oh, insights and then
traffic.
traffic. All right, I'm looking at visitors. Wait, we have 0 visitors at one, and then we had. Wait, what?
Because it's for tomorrow, right? 26th. So 25, we still have 107 visitors today.
I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing like the 13th, the 13th, and then the 6th, this 15, 16, and then it just goes down like straight 0 from the 16th through the 26th.
Here,
Or is this per week, maybe? Oh.
mine is daily.
Yeah, share screen. It might be different than what I'm looking at.
Yep. Share screen window share. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Visitors. Yeah, my visitor looks like you're one that's above.
That's Git clones.
Yeah, I have my Git clones looks like your visitors.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah, and there's no way at like clicking or choosing a timeline. So I guess I just show you a week.
So today, how many did we have?
Today, 107.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then 56 of them were unique. So
also, since the repo is heavy text based, I feel like it's just one of those things where like, oh, I added a comma here, I added a period here, that kind of stuff. So I want to like us to put some guardrails in place to avoid those kind of things.
Yeah, and I think that like, so we already have the issue templates in. And what I'm gonna do, even if with typos, there's I know there will be people trying to correct people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a template for that, and like you can add labels to the templates.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that it's not top priority. So some kind of message that says this will be dealt, like this is our least priority, and we'll not look at these PRs for now.
Mm-hmm. I want people to contribute projects more, even if it's like stuff that they've done. Like, hey, try to implement this. I'd love that. And we can give them attribution or whatever it might be. We'll have like a column there, like author kind of thing, and their social media, whatever. That's what I want the most to do. Yeah, there's lots of work that we have to get done on this before. We don't have that much time. We have like a week before the first.
Yeah. Tomorrow is Sunday, so yeah, I'll probably have some time to at least get the contributions.mt file in GitHub, and then we can work on I can work on an article and a video then, just to help people understand. Yep. But yeah, no, I was shocked to see like 300, 200 daily visitors, and then there are 100 unique ones. So
yeah, that's
like people are still discovering. Yeah,
pretty insane.
Mm-hmm. And then the traffic, like especially like GitHub, is on the second number. So like people are discovering our repo through GitHub.
I wonder if we've ever been on trending.
I think in the starting we were, and then I told you like we should have checked it right after we tweeted. I'm pretty sure we were, or like I haven't seen it, but I have a feeling that we were, just because based on the stars and folks that we got earlier. It was kind of crazy.
It's still gonna go down as like one of the craziest things that I've seen from social media.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, we got work to do on that.
Yep. But yeah, oh, this was the dome I'm talking about.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So that's pretty big. So you can play soccer.
Like full 11-on-11.
Yeah. It's like an actual size
Wow.
ground inside, but I think usually because this place is fully booked in winters, just because this is the only place where you can play like
Inside.
field soccer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can play futsal, but it's not same as field soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is, especially for our league, they only play 7-on-7, and they've divided the fields into two equal fields.
Smart.
Yep. But yeah. Um yeah, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Guess the other thing we have to work is towards the migration. So I've been checking out some stuff for Jekyll. Like tried searching for how to like render Markdown in some other framework. Um, there was I couldn't find something that was solid,
Mm-hmm.
but I did found that you can have your own Jekyll configs that would deploy to Azure or AWS or any other stuff.
This is in place of using like Vue or
GitHub pages.
Reactor or something. Not Reactor,
Yeah.
React in the front.
Yeah, we won't be using any frameworks. We would be utilizing the same config that we have
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this does the rendering of these Markdown files to HTML, but there is some additional config that we need to add to be able to host it on Azure instead of utilizing GitHub pages.
Hmm.
But yeah. Here's a question. How do the AWS certs compare to Azure certs? I've got a couple of AWS certs and want to start learning Azure. Think I haven't sat AWS cert for almost 2 years now.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, I think it was early 2020. So yeah, almost a year, more than a year. And at that time, they were all multiple choice questions. Whereas in Azure, you have different formats of questions. So you would have match, like you would have two columns on the side, and you would have to match what definition matches with which term. And then you also have fill in the blanks kind of stuff. You also have commands. Like for 104, I did had a section where there were 7 questions. They were all based on this one question, and then the answers were to that one question.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a variety of questions on Azure. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, for the level, I think they're equal, kind of equal. The time you need to prepare for them and the resources that you might need. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any way to compare it. I only have one AWS certification that's expired now, which is the developer associate, and then only one Azure certification, which is the AZ900, the fundamentals one. So they're not really on the same level. Yeah.
Oh, hey Jeremy. And he says check FCC, all their challenges are Markdown file. Oh, that's a good tip. Might check them.
We could also do like use some sort of framework in the front and then just use some library that converts from Markdown to HTML. Instead of like,
yeah, I
whatever it might
already
be.
have kind of an experience in that. So yeah, my cloud notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all in Markdown, available on GitHub. Oh no, clicked on a PNG, but yeah. And then I use Gatsby to render them, which was pretty easy for me, I think. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Why not something like that?
Yep. Yeah, we could do that. Um, yeah, we could host it as a static site until we bring in that platform that we are talking about.
Yeah. I haven't been doing any programming for the last ever since our demo. Oh no, I did some Azure Q stuff this last week, but that wasn't like web stuff.
Hmm.
And every time I stop coding, I forget everything. And I have to like kickstart. It's like out of everything in tech, it's the one thing that just doesn't stick for some reason.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've I can kind of relate, especially with this thing I was doing at work. Um, I feel like when the stack is a stack that I work with daily
Mm-hmm.
or is current, I'm like comfortable. But as soon as there is a legacy app that I have to fix or do a
Mm-hmm.
hot fix and do a patch kind of stuff, I'm like, it takes me few, I could say, a few hours to just get in and try to go like back in time in that mindset. Okay, this is why we did this, and this is why we chose this and stuff.
I remember in my cloud engineering days, I was so good at being able to pick up anything with in terms of code
Hmm.
because doing it every day. And now it's like rusty. Now it's like, oh my goodness, it's like an old car. Like you gotta like kickstart and like or jump start or something like that.
Hmm.
Oof. But yeah, we'll take a look at that after our session. We'll probably have more time. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm doing two sessions a week in October.
Yeah, I think
I have
it's
some cloud admin stuff if you want to help or do any of them. We're doing CLI monitoring, VNets, and then Azure Active Directory.
oh cool.
In October,
Yeah,
it's beginner level, so it's not like a lot of prep per se. But if you want to hop on one of those,
sure.
we
I'm
can
always open to.
do some of
Um,
that. That's gonna be a good one. I'm very excited for that.
yeah, I'm looking forward to the sessions that you'll be doing for, I think, career. They're more career focused on
With Chloe.
yeah, with Chloe. They're around resumes, right?
Yeah, we're doing some like resume best practices, cover letter best practices, applying for jobs best practices, stuff like
Nice.
that. That's gonna be great. And she used to be a recruiter actually,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's like quite an interesting career journey into tech as well. So that's gonna be a good one too. I'm excited to start doing content that isn't strictly
Cloud.
technology tech or like any stack specific things like that because I think there's a lack for that kind of stuff. It's like every now and then what we
Yeah.
want to develop it into like more of a consistent series, but this is more of like a pilot, I guess.
But yeah, I think I felt that way. I've talked to some. So I talked to one of the students who recently got into an apprenticeship here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, it was all fun, but like he's technically really strong, but he
Mm-hmm.
lacks like the soft skill and also like writing a good resume,
Mm-hmm.
cover letter, like how to network and how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he said like we should have more he was asking me about resources or things that I would recommend to gain those skills, and I'm like, yeah, there you can
Yeah, what do
find
you
a lot of,
point to? Like,
yeah, there's, I'm like, I would do the same thing as you and Google it for now, but I don't know if that resource might be good or not.
yeah,
And yeah, especially like with niches, I think like tech in general, like if you're a software developer, it's totally different, and if you're in cloud, it's totally different. Um, especially like the hiring process itself. But yeah, no, it'll be nice to see those.
yeah. Well, I'm excited to see where we can take it. We're gonna do the. I'll tell you this offline because I don't think I can say it publicly. But we have another series that is gonna be quite interesting as well.
Okay.
Jeremy says send her an invoice for what? Oh, hey Manny.
Hey Manny, sorry.
Invoice
Yeah.
for what?
Um. So last time when I was on session with you for the reactor,
Mm-hmm.
where you were where you were teaching me Blazor web apps,
Mm-hmm.
WebAssembly. Yeah. Um. Jeremy reached out on Discord to see if I'm working for Microsoft now, or if I'm doing these sessions just like that.
Mm.
So he's joking that because I'll be doing another one, that I should invoice you. At least that's what I'm aware of. Jeremy, tell me if this is something else in reference to.
No, I just like involving my friends and stuff that when they have time. With
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
with React, it's cool because we have the flexibility, anyone in the community, to kind of just help out as long as
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling comfortable
Yep,
on stream, right?
for sure.
Don't be cheap, Gwen. Yeah, but anyway, I feel like we were supposed to talk about like a specific topic today, and we've been just rambling about.
Yeah. For me, I've received a lot of LinkedIn messages in regards to, especially a few of them were in the same course that I did in like in the college,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Hey, like," because they can see I'm an alum of St. Lawrence, and they're like, "Oh, you worked in help desk or you worked in tech support. Like, how did you transition into cloud?" Because they are working in help desk right now.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do an AMA session because I haven't done one yet.
Mhm.
Um, and I'll answer any questions if you have. But the chat has been th- there are no specific questions in regards to that. But I think that's what I wanted to address is how you can transition to especially cloud,
Mhm.
coming from a tech support or help desk background. Um, for me, it's been, I won't say it's simple, but look out for opportunities, not from like job perspective, just working with the technology itself. Um, I know for me, there was a side project that they were like, oh, we can give you like credentials for the dev account in AWS and you can
Mhm.
try it out and stuff. And that's how it started for me. So I tried building a project, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it works. And then I'm like, what should I do next? Because I want to like get a role in cloud and work with cloud every day instead of just me working in help desk from 8 to 5 and then putting in some extra hours to learn cloud.
Mhm.
And then they're like, yeah, get into certifications, because at that time I think that was the sweet spot back in 2017 and 18 when like cloud certificates meant a lot. I feel like because
Yeah,
they
it
were
was a
not,
good time to get certified.
yeah, right,
2017, 2018. After that, it was just
yeah, because they were not so common. And
there was also less content, so it was harder.
true,
Hmm.
yeah, I feel that. And yeah, I started preparing for my cloud practitioner, and this was still being in help desk. It took me 3 months to prepare for that and just learn what AWS is, what cloud computing was.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, after that, I think they had an opening almost 4 months after I cleared my cloud practitioner. And I talked to my peers, talked to my, there are these two guys, they're still in the company, and they're like a mentor to me.
Hmm.
I'm like, should I apply for this role? And they're like, sure, yeah, go ahead. And then I talked to my manager, uh, and he's like, yeah, I like totally support you. You have always shown interest in cloud. And that's the thing that I did from the beginning is, right, getting into help desk, and after like 6 or 7 months, I told my manager, like, this is where I want to go. And this is what I want to do. And he could also see that I'm putting in the extra effort to learn cloud and stuff. And got a green light to apply for the job, applied it, was asked to go on an interview. The interview went really good. The only thing I would like to mention is have a really good project which you have great understanding about, and like have I am a huge believer in documentation, so I had a really good presentation and diagrams and stuff prepared for the interview, even though I was not sure if they're gonna ask me. And they're like, "Sure, go ahead and present." And I'm like, I started presenting. I'm like, "This is why I chose S3. This is why I chose like different services at the time. What my project basically was, and the performance of it, and stuff like that." But yeah, in the end, I got the job, so I would say like look in the same company if there are opportunities to learn and opportunities to grow. If there are not, like try to like gain skills. So like try maybe pick a cert that you want to do and try doing, I would say go for projects. And if it's Azure, go for like learn modules because there are so many cool demos that you can do.
Mhm.
Um and
What's
then
a tip for that I've been using personally is for any learn module that you do, try to sort of come up with a demo that's similar as well, right? So, for
yep.
example, for our session that we did with real time, it was a stock thing,
Hmm.
but we sort of architected it in a different way where we used like crypto, and then the back end we tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's a good baseline for you. Like, all right, let me go through this, let me understand it, and now let me figure out how I can make it a little bit more complex, or maybe like a
Hmm.
different idea, things like that. Yeah, that would be something that just to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like the the things that I struggled with is when I started looking at cloud and other languages, especially programming languages, is to just focus down on one and gain the knowledge. Like to this time, I don't know one language to the fullest,
I don't
and
either.
that's because I have been like don't I I just see a tweet saying this, I pick up that language and start doing that stuff again from the beginning, which is what I've struggled with
FOMO.
for the FOMO for about like the last 2 years. But now I think I'm in a better place in regards to not picking things up.
I've been avoiding tech Twitter like
Yeah.
a lot lately for the mainly since I've moved. I've been trying to like not have, just because I
Mhm.
know I need to focus on other things besides like what tech Twitter is telling me to do that week. And it's been so well. I feel like I've been like my learning has definitely been like more specific and more focused.
Nice.
So
No,
yeah, I don't know.
got to do the same. Um, but yeah, I would say pick something, start it, don't overthink. Like, should I pick Azure? Should I pick AWS? If you're not sure, search your job market, see which one, or even like for my why I chose AWS is because my company used it. Um, so do that, and AWS was the most famous where I live, uh, in tech companies. So pick one, start doing stuff, and yeah.
It's surprising how, I mean, I already know this, like how similar our stories are, because it was the same for me. Literally, I was in a
Mhm.
help desk gig, got certified, then got into a different company sysadmin gig, and from the start expressed interest in cloud and DevOps, and
Mhm.
then kind of just did all my sysadmin tasks and gained the got on the good side of the manager. And then when the cloud projects came up and they had sort of more like lower level things to get done, I was able to get them done.
Mhm.
Then eventually I became a full-time like cloud engineer there, and all my time was spent in Azure. But yeah, I was also just working my way up kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like just finding someone who's willing to give you a chance, but a lot of that is also you putting in like it's people skills as well, right?
Mm.
Sometimes you'll have to work more,
Yeah.
like overtime or over the weekends, or volunteer to work on projects that you don't want to, even though they gave you no,
Mhm.
you want to because they'll give you exposure to something or more time with someone. Like you and I brought this up sometimes we would just hang around the office and
Yeah.
like after everyone left because well
Hmm.
personally I would do it because my manager would stay longer because he had more quiet time in the afternoon to, like after everyone was gone to get stuff done, and the CEO would also do that.
Yep.
So it was just like it was my manager, CEO, and maybe like another senior engineer. I would just stay an hour later, and then just because of being there, I'd be included on conversations. I'd be included on like projects and things like that, or things that needed to get done, or something like
Hmm.
all because I was just staying later. Now I'm not telling you that you have to do that. I'm just telling me that that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
So they started seeing like, oh, Gwen's really interested in this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Gwen's really willing to put in the work. Um, but I mean, that also might be because we have the feeling of like, oh, we're such underdogs. We have to like find different ways to be creative on how to like stick out.
Yeah.
Yep, just but like things like that. And then I also think like with whatever role you're into, even though you know you might not like it, like put 100% of your effort into it.
For
There was
sure.
so many times I was just like miserable at the roles that I was in, but like my work was always the best that I could do.
Hmm.
That's obviously not a recipe for like long term. Like, cause if we think of like the help desk gig, I was only there for a year and a half. I couldn't do more, but the year and a half that I was there was like the best work that I could have done. And
Yeah.
that also speaks like a lot to, oh, like
Employers.
we're
Yeah.
gonna put this like even for like referrals, or if people need to
Mm.
call someone to talk about like how you were as an employee, stuff like that. Like that
Yeah.
helps as well. Yeah, so there's a lot more than just like the technical skill set, and oftentimes it might feel just like, oh, it's like luck as well, which I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think luck and timing plays a good role too, right? But
Timing, big thing.
yeah. Um, but I feel like having, like, you brought up a really good point about having a good work ethic. I remember this time when, so like when I was in help desk, and my role was customer facing, so I had to help
Mhm.
customers with the software if they're having issues. And I didn't know this, but I was talking to a CTO of a company, and I was trying to help him. Like, he was super pissed, and I get it because there was some issues with our software.
Yeah.
I'm super patient, and I'm already like 9 months into the job, so I've learned those skills, how to be
Mhm.
like patient and how to like calm the
Calm
customer
people down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like just be there to, because I can't fix a bug. I'm not the developer, right? So
Yeah, you
the
can't
least I
do.
could do is just hear him out, put in as much details I can in the
Mhm.
ticket, and if there's a workaround, I can provide it to them. And he reached out after that ticket. Like, first of all, he reached out to whoever was like in sales and stuff, that this guy helped me, and like I'm really happy with his service. So like, could you give him a kudos or something?
Mhm.
And he also reached out to offer me a job in help desk at his company.
Wow.
He's like, we need this level of like customer service, but I obviously, like, I'm like, no, I can't take it because I'm really happy where I am right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like your work speaks for yourself, and companies see that. I
Mhm.
think that was, I think I speak for both of us, and that was like really good reason why we moved into cloud, at our like similar companies, or you moved into sysadmin.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Oftentimes, when people have issues, this is why I enjoyed help desk. Well, I enjoyed what I learned at help desk is the majority of the time people just want to talk, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
if you're patient and you're willing to just listen, the conversations that you can be included in are also it's quite interesting, right?
oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and oftentimes you could just resolve someone's terrible experience by just listening, like, oh, okay, this is your issue, this kind of thing. And
Hmm.
like, I don't know any other role in tech that teaches you that exposes
No,
you to that. Yeah. Those are some interesting times for sure. I remember like starting conversations with people like yelling at me.
oh yeah, yeah,
And by the end of it, it was they were so upset, but you know, they weren't yelling anymore.
for sure.
It's quite the it was very taxing too. Now that I think back at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, like why am I being yelled at? I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it worked out, of course.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I remember those days. You won't even get a hi. You would stay like there was they would straight yell at you.
Yeah.
Some
Man,
nostalgia.
those help desk days, those help desk days. Um, yeah, if we had more specific questions, it'd be easier to answer. But I feel like a lot of it is just it seems like a pretty obvious thing. Learn the skill, volunteer for the work. If there's no roles at your current place, find somewhere else. But
Hmm.
it's I don't know. There's stuff that's outside of the tech skill that's also kind of like tricky to get into. Like for example, me leaving a help desk to go to sysadmin, I could take that risk because I had been financially very smart. Like we were talking about at the beginning of this session, like once I started making money, I was very, very careful to like
Yeah.
save because I knew like having like a large cushion was going to enable me to take risks and make moves in my career, right?
Hmm.
But then that's often not spoken about when we talk about progression in career and things like that because it's not, I guess, directly part of
Hmm.
it, right?
For sure.
But I wouldn't never been able to go look for roles if I didn't have that like cushion, right, or that comfort. And that also like sort of applies to how I was able to land the
Hmm.
the right role and things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious of what it looks like now getting into cloud because I don't know how friendly cloud is to like entry level, like people who are never been in tech before. Like this is their first technical job. Like when I started, there was no way you were going to land a role in cloud without some sort of technical background, whether that be software dev, DevOps engineer, networking engineer,
Mm.
anything like that, right? But
Yeah.
now I don't know. I feel like I mean I hear people saying like well, this is again tech Twitter, so take this with a grain of salt. It's like, yeah, you can get into cloud with no technical background, or like these entry level jobs are starting at like 60 to 80K, stuff like that. I'm like, could be. I'm not gonna say it's not true, but I don't know what it looks like now.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'll. Oh, the other great thing that I'm trying to get a green light on from higher ups at my company is, so I was a placement student here for the
Hmm.
company that I work for. In after my placement, I got the help desk gig. Um, and we still have that placement program at the college here locally,
Hmm.
where I went to. So I want to do the same thing and see if we can get someone to intern here for 2 months
Hmm.
and kind of just introduce them to the cloud, which was not because
That
I didn't
yeah.
know what cloud was. And when I interned here and they were like, "Oh, we also have our cloud team," I'm like, "What's the cloud team?" Like I only knew iCloud. That was my extent of knowledge for cloud computing.
Dropbox.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be really nice if I get a green light on that and can mentor someone uh, who's freshly like graduating from college.
That reminds me that programs like the Microsoft Student Ambassadors,
Oh yeah,
AWS, what's it? Community
community
builders,
builders.
Microsoft MVPs, things like that are also fantastic ways to sort of build networks if you can't do it at your current role. And
Hmm.
oftentimes there are opportunities that people will extend to you just because you have sort of you're part of that community, things like that.
Yeah,
Especially for students, I think like Microsoft Student Ambassadors is like a fantastic thing to apply to because you get like you get one-on-one sessions and feedback
yep,
sessions and all that kind of stuff with um, advocates and engineers from directly from Microsoft. You get the inside scoop and that kind of stuff. So that might be something that you can leverage as well. I was going to say one last thing. Can't remember. Goodness gracious. Yeah. I think I'm gonna drop, man, because I'm like super tired.
yep. I was gonna say,
I'm like,
and we almost are hitting the 1 hour mark. So,
yeah, we're at almost an hour.
but yeah, no, it was really nice to have you and sharing those experiences about help desk and some
we
horror
we
stories.
we got to do a horror stories one where we just talk about like the worst calls or support tickets we've received. So maybe like on call nightmares too.
Yeah,
That'd be a good session.
I'm just gonna say that it's easy for me because I work for the same company to pull back those tickets. I'm just gonna look through my tickets.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, it'll be fun. You gotta do it.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter, and we'll mostly answer them. We also do the random cloud chat thing, so hop onto those. It's on Gwen's YouTube.
I've
We
been doing
kind
them
of
a lot lately.
we kind of try to do them every Thursday, but we do them randomly. So hop on,
Randomly, maybe every Thursday.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
hop on there, ask the questions. But yeah, it was nice to have you, and yeah, you guys have a good night.
All right. Bye, everyone.